timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! 13! 13! Can you believe?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, joined again by the mystery man, Sharpy.
G'day.
We're back. NBA season is upon us, finally.
Yeah, the real mystery is where have we been? So,
Hey. I've been doing fantasy. I'm giving you an off season to collect your thoughts.
and you've done a lot of AFL stuff too.
Oh, yeah, a lot of AFL stuff.
Financial advice.
Oh, yeah. So get stuff. I do love the comments on those though, and I might do some NFL ones because I did get one this week actually. That was pretty nice. How's your off season been though? You been stressing about the Knicks at all?
No, I feel like we didn't really make any major moves. It was pretty lateral with what we did. So, but I'm still feeling pretty hopeful.
And you've always got that media expectation when fucking you're in New York, just they build you up so they can take you down harder. Especially Stephen A. Smith. But we'll go past that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through every team and we're going to go through their over and under currently on, it's on a betting website. Not going to say which one, but they're over under, and we're going to discuss whether we think they're going to go over and under. We're going to do that for the East in this video, West in part 2, and then we'll do our NBA awards and stuff later on, probably next week before the NBA starts. We'll get into it. And the first team, it's Atlanta. So their over-under is 41.5 wins. And last year they had 41 wins. Now, they've got Patty Mills, and they've basically got a similar roster to what they had last year.
Except Jason Collins.
John Collins, Jason
not
Collins.
Jason.
But he was
legend.
Was he moved trade period last year, or was he moved in the offseason?
He went to Utah in the offseason, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it wasn't the offseason. Okay. Well, yeah, this is. I was trying to think about that, but what are your thoughts on the Hawks? 41.5. Give us your thoughts on the team in general, and then we'll go from there.
Well, actually, I should have got the roster up before I did all this stuff. I don't think they're going to be exactly special. I don't think they're going to be too special this year. Given last year as well, and also getting rid of. I think getting rid of Collins is pretty stupid. I liked him, but
he's on a max contract.
Yeah, I mean he's still a good player though.
He had a bad season, to be fair. Like he was good. Like he had a pretty bad year last year, and I don't think he would have a year like that again. I wouldn't expect him to. But who did they get for John Collins? I'm trying to think who they actually got.
They might have just got draft picks, to be honest.
Because my deal.
It's been so long since I've seen any NBA stuff like at all.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the trade. Like mine's not loading. But like the site ESPN only has, or the NBA site only has Patty Mills obviously going to the Hawks, and then DeJounte Murray signing a 4-year extension, which is, I'm surprised by that as well, to be honest. And then Wesley Matthews signing a contract there. Like there's not a single thing about.
They got Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
And they got Ty Washington, who you've now got, I think. Garuba acquired Patty Mills from Oklahoma City in exchange for Washington, Garuba, and Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
Future second round. Yeah. And they got Wesley Matthews.
Yeah. They did have the third best offense last year, which is like overachieving as hell. Obviously, it was their first year with Quinn Snyder. Where do you see? Because like they got 41 wins last year. It's right at 41.5 again this year. Where do you think they go from here?
I think it's going to be under.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trae Young's betting on himself a lot this year, so who knows?
Yeah, I might actually jot these down so we can both have them. But I'm going under as well because I think the East has gotten a lot tougher, and obviously they versed teams in the East a lot more. But yes, under I think is pretty safe. Next one, we got the Celtics. Obviously, they've made a lot of off-season moves, and I think this is a pretty like I said, the East has gotten tougher, but this is 54.5. Last year they had 57 wins. Obviously, they went on that pretty good streak. I think it was pretty early on, and they had the fourth best offense. They've added Kristaps, who's good, relatively good offensively and good defensively, and then you got Drew Holiday, who I think is the bigger part of it. I think he's a much better Marcus Smart. They've made some other moves as well. They signed, or not moves, but they signed Pritchard to another deal. And they got Wenyan Gabriel.
Wow.
Wembenyama.
Oh, Lockie's here.
Hey!
Oh, hello.
What's happening? He was too in the zone and he didn't even realise that I joined.
Oh, I haven't got the zoom up on my screen. Oh, I didn't think you'd be joining us today.
Oh, I didn't cop an invite.
Oh, well, I didn't know if you would want to. Welcome, a welcome surprise to say the
big
least.
fella is back.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I only missed one team, and you've still got the North Melbourne player as your background. And you still got
Yep.
Cody
I was going to
Doggy.
change it to Todd Goldstein in Essendon's colours, but I thought I'd better not.
You didn't want to make yourself sad. Oh, well,
Nah,
I mean,
correct.
yeah, Essendon is a shit team anyway. So, we're
Correct.
talking about the Celtics.
Correct. Not as bad as the Bulldogs.
That is true.
Oh,
That is true. Celtics, 54.5 wins. Is that you, Sharpy?
no, I think it was Lockie trying to play Eminem.
Just cut it
Yeah.
halfway through.
I wanted to play it when I joined, but I was too fucking unorganised.
Yeah.
I got them overs.
Yeah. We're talking about the Celtics, by the way, Lockie. Over under 54.5 wins. And last year they had 57. What do you think? With Kristaps and Drew both going there. Obviously, Marcus Smart no longer there. As the
I reckon
big
that's
moves.
overs.
Yeah. I think it's
57 last year, and I reckon they've just gone better.
Yeah.
Depending
The
on if
East has gotten
Kristaps
tougher,
can stay
though.
healthy. They've got a
It's
very
just going to depend on what fucking mindset Jaylen Brown's in.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to actually like pull his finger out of his ass or not.
Well, now he's got the big deal. It's the big contract.
Yeah.
It's either
Hasn't he
does
been making a bit of noise though? Like outside of all that, like hasn't he been talking a bit of smack?
I haven't heard too much about it since like the trade things they were talking about with him, but I think it'll either go like he's either going to have to try and live up to the contract, or now that he's got the contract, it's like I'm not gonna say that he's dropped off, but like you look at Joe Burrow, got that massive contract in the first 3 games. I know he was injured, and I'm not saying that that's the situation, but like players get the big contract and then they go downhill. Better example probably would be John Collins,
But
since we just discussed him.
his last game was elite.
Yes, that's Joe Burrow.
Joey
Yeah.
Burrow was back.
So we're all going overs. I think it's pretty safe to say overs as well. You'd probably combine a lot of these and get a good multi.
It's gonna be
Ooh,
depending on
okay.
if their front court can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very the depth in that is very short with just Kristaps and Al Horford.
Yeah.
So,
And
Big
no
Orfman.
Robert Williams or Grant Williams now either. So
Yeah. Where did he go?
he went
Dallas.
to Dallas.
That's right, he did too.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good get.
Oh,
for
well,
them,
we'll go and make heaps of free throws out there.
Yeah.
Lol.
do
And
nothing
miss them.
else.
All right, so we're going to move on to the Nets. So last year they had 45 wins. Obviously they had KD and Kyrie for a little bit of it. And this year the over under is 37.5. So I mean, they're big moves. They got Darius Baisley on a 1-year deal. Huge move. They re-signed Cam Johnson, and they've got Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonnie Walker as other signings.
Who's this we're talking about? Sorry?
The Brooklyn Nets. So Sharpie, I'll let you go with this one. Obviously, they got Mikal Bridges and everything still. What do you think about them?
Oh, they got Bays. So the goat.
So they're winning the championship.
It's a very interesting. I got them for
goat.
unders
Oh.
because I mean that team just does not look good at all. But
Really?
if it has heart, I can imagine it being good, but
Wait, Hart or Josh Hart?
heart, just like
He's
I mean, it's a very small team.
like actual like got ticker.
Other
Yeah,
than Claxton, yeah.
it's a very small team, and it's not a lot of spacing in that team whatsoever.
Well,
Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges,
Man, they
very
got
good
Ben
players.
Simmons.
I was about to say, when you look at it, it's interesting. They're a small team, but they're also a big team. You know, like because from their point
Explain
guards.
that logic, please, Oliver.
Okay, I'll explain it. So their point guard, Simmons, tall. Their shooting guard, Cam Johnson, tall. Mikal Bridges, tall. Their power forward, I can't remember who it is.
Finney
Is it
Smith, maybe.
Finney
depending on-
Smith or Royce O'Neal, possibly? They're like a reasonable height, but for a power forward, they're small. And then Claxton tall. So like they're tall all round, but they haven't got great depth in obviously centers and stuff. And Lockie's gone. He'll come back later. I'm presuming he's got a phone call.
And
I see
Simmons
what you
is
mean.
the highest paid player on that team.
Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean, but I actually have some sort of hope for them because obviously Mikal Bridges took a pretty big leap in a short amount of time last year. I think Simmons for me is a most improved candidate. I think he's gonna.
Lockie will not be returning.
Okay, he won't be returning. I hope he does. I hope he does have a really good year. But I can see what you mean. I'm going to go overs, so over 37.5. That's the first one we disagree on. Where are we? Over, under. Okay. All right, now this next one I don't even want to fucking talk about. The Charlotte Hornets. Let's get this one over and done with pretty early. LaMelo Ball signed a max deal. PJ Washington signed a new deal. They signed Ntilikina and Miles Bridges again, and they just let go of Kai Jones with whatever the hell is going on with him.
No clue what's going on with him.
He doesn't seem like it's a good thing or a good place.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah. Maybe he's like me, just delusional.
Yeah, it was a very odd, like it sort of came out of nowhere. Like you never really noticed something about Kai. Like Kai Jones, good player, very solid, but very raw at the moment.
Bit like gives off Kuminga vibes, except Kuminga was on a championship team. But like potential, go on. So,
yeah, he's very very raw talent, but I mean. And I just don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Like,
well
why did he start going and doing all that weird stuff? I mean, if it's his personality, like if he's just a bit, I don't know, expressive in that flamboyant type person, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But I mean, acting all weird and everything, then requesting a trade via yourself, so it's very odd.
Yeah. I think if I recall correctly, he had an interaction with his teammate. I think it might have even been Bridges on Instagram or something. I thought it was just like them joking around, but maybe it wasn't. I'm not going to stay on the Hornets for too long. I think it's under 30.5. I think that's actually pretty high for them. If I get up what they had last year, actually. 30.5. You're right?
Yeah, under 30. All right,
27 they got last year. And they expected to get more wins. I'm going under. Are you going under?
I'm going under, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's we can't steamroll through this one. The Bulls. 37.5. Last year, they had 40. All right, we're back. We're at the Bulls. So 37.5 wins is the over-under for the Bulls. Last year, they got 40. Now, obviously, the East has gotten tougher, like I've said multiple times already. And Lonzo, I don't think he's going to play at all again this year. Where do you stand on the Bulls? Because I feel like this is a make-or-break season with them. Even maybe halfway through the year, they could implode, depending on how they're going.
I mean, I thought they were going to implode last year, but...
I mean, they somewhat did. They only just made... Well, they didn't just. They made the play-in, but yeah.
I mean, re-signing Vooch as well, I think, didn't they?
No. So they've got Torrey Craig. they re-signed Desonmu on a new deal, and they re-signed Kobe White, however you want to say his name.
Kobe White, yeah.
I think Vooch has already got a pretty decent sized deal.
Yeah, I think he's the second highest paid, third highest paid player on the fourth highest paid player on the team.
Like, I love Billy Donovan, I really do, but I think after this year, it's like, who do you? I don't think it's going to work. I'm going unders. But like, who do you keep? Do you keep Levine because he's like your star of your team, and then try and get something for DeRozan and Vooch? Like, where do you stand with the Bulls?
I've got them unders as well, but yeah, I think get rid of Levine, and I think maybe just have the whole big implosion, try and get some picks.
Yeah.
Keep Pat Williams, I think, and Dalen Terry and Sonmu. I think they're three good players to sort of build a team around, but to just build up and maybe sort of build up value of them. I don't know. But yeah, I don't see him being anything special.
I think a lot of these teams ruin the process. Like, you look at the Bulls, you look at the Hawks, they go down, like they're shit, but they want to get good straight away. So they try and like surround their good, decent player with all these other things. Whereas you look at OKC, you look at like even what Orlando are doing. Orlando aren't great now, but they're getting these players in that are going to be good soon, and they're young. Like even Houston, as much as I hate Houston, like I know you don't want to see teams bottom dragging, but like, what's the point of being a team that like is got a good player and then you try and immediately surround them with someone? Like, it just never works out. I think they're gonna. Do you reckon they're gonna implode before All-Star break?
Yeah, I reckon. If they're not, if they don't at least have a positive record, I reckon they'll probably implode too.
We've got an interesting one here actually. Cavs 50.5. Last year they had 51 wins. Obviously, get a full year of Donovan Mitchell this year. Was he traded at the deadline last year, or was he traded?
Yeah, he was traded before. He was traded before the season started.
Oh, okay. So his second season, with Donovan, and obviously another year under Mobley's belt, arguably top 3 chance at Depoy. 50.5 wins is still a lot, but I think if they're healthy with more depth, I think they can do it. So they got Ty Jerome, they got Karis LeVert re-signed, and they got George Niang, who is a decent player, but they got Max Strus. I think he'll be a good piece for them. He's probably going to be their
Didn't he have a really
starter.
good game today?
I didn't watch any of the. I don't think they played, did they? Or did they play the Lakers?
I think they played Atlanta.
No, there's only 2 games today: Lakers, Kings, and Philly, Celtics.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other Miami person. What's his name?
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty good game today.
Yeah, he had 18 points today. But I think it's hard for the Cavs because I just don't know what to expect from them whatsoever. Like 50.5 is a lot of wins, especially in like that East. They finished 4th last year, but I see them getting there just because like a few of the bottom feeders teams in the East, like I think they're going to sweep the Pistons, they'll sweep the Hornets, they'll sweep the Magic, or the Wizards at least. I think I'm going to go overs just.
I'm going to go overs as well. I reckon they've got good depth, and they've got a really solid roster. So yeah, I'm going to go overs.
Pistons 27.5 wins. They had 17 last year. Obviously, who'd they get? They fell to the 5th pick, didn't they? Or the 4th pick? They fell in the draft. I can't remember who they exactly what they fell to, but they got Joe Harris, which I feel bad for him. Monte Morris is a decent player, and re-signed Isaiah Stewart. And I'm just trying. They got one of the twins, didn't they?
Yeah, they got I think Armin Thompson.
I think. And obviously Cade being fully healthy.
No, they got Aja.
Oh yeah. Cade being fully healthy, hopefully this year. 27.5 wins. I think that's a sweet spot for them, but I really don't know what to expect from them, to be honest. Like, they've got Monty Williams now as their coach, so that could make a big difference, but it's a test for him to say the least. What do you think about the Pistons?
I'm going to go unders. They're in another rebuilding year. Which is going to help Cade a lot, I think. Maybe for most improved.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to be the one doing everything.
Yeah.
But another season of Jaden Ivey as well. He looked really good last year. And Thompson as well. I'm hoping Bagley has a good year this year as well.
Yeah.
And
So do I.
Wiseman. I hope Wiseman takes a big leap this year.
Wiseman's the one I like. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I still think they're very young.
Yeah.
I think they're getting to the point where they're getting close to where the Kings are now.
Yeah.
But I think maybe they're 2 seasons away from potentially being where the Kings are now.
I mean, the Kings are a very good spot.
Yeah, but it's just on how the Kings built
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
into being a top team.
Talking about Kings, we've got a team that they traded one of the better players to coming up next. The Pacers, 38.5 wins. Last year they had 35. They added your man, Obi Toppin. They signed Halliburton to a max contract, and they got a NBA champion in Bruce Brown, which was very surprising to me, on a 2-year deal. I don't know. Some of these teams, like these lower down teams, I just don't know what to expect. I think the Pacers will be better. They had 35 wins last year. I think they're going to be better, and I think they can actually make the play in because, like, I don't want to say nobodies, but like their team, like they got Duarte still. They got these players that like they're not well known, but they do their
They're a
job.
sleeping giant type of
Yeah,
team.
yeah. I think they can make. I feel like they could finish easily in the 9th seed. Personally, but so I'm going to go overs just for that.
What was the thing again?
38.5, and they had 35 last year.
I'm going to go under.
Oh, another one we disagree
But
on.
only just under.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fine line.
And I really want Obi Toppin to have a really good year this year. He needs like it's not like he needs to, but like I feel like I just want him to have a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much potential in that player, and there was so much like shown when Randall wasn't playing at the Knicks of what he can do, and I can, and even in preseason he looked really good in the one game I watched. He hit a couple threes and stuff, so I'm hoping he has a really good year.
Yeah. And I think it's a good spot for him to be. I think he'll get the time finally, and the chance. And with Halliburton or some of those lob plays, pick and rolls are going to be
it's gonna be juicy.
Next is the team that we all dislike, the Miami Heat. 45.5 wins. Last year, obviously, they didn't play very well, to be honest. They got 44. That looks. Oh wait, yeah, no, they got 44 wins. Obviously they didn't add Lillard like they hoped, but they got Thomas Bryant, they got Josh Richardson, they've got a goth emo Jimmy Butler. I loved that, to be honest, I really did. But where do you think they go with it? Like, they were pretty disappointing during the regular season, and they still got 44 wins. So I'm personally going to go over just for that reason, but I'm not confident in it. I don't like the Heat whatsoever, and I don't know how Hero's going to come out after all these rumors about him getting traded and stuff, and then not even getting traded. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think Hero's going to have to prove his worth and maybe prove to himself and to the owners that he's a good player. I mean, they gave him a lot of money, and they're willing to give him up. And I couldn't remember who else up, which was pretty much pennies for Damian Lillard. Obviously he was injured last year. Wait, was it last year or the year before?
He got injured in the playoffs with his wrist. He broke his wrist.
Yeah,
and they lost in the finals. Obviously, he didn't play, but
but them getting rid of Strus and Gabe Vincent, I think, who were both very good players. in the playoffs. Like, they were very good playoff players last year. They're going to be pretty big outs. Going with replacing them with RJ Hampton and was it Josh Richardson? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's the best move. But Josh Richardson punches Josh Giddey in the balls, and so we hate him.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go unders. I'm gonna go unders.
I did forget. I don't know why it slipped my mind about the Max Strus thing, but I'm going to stick with my over the Strus and Gabe Vincent stuff. But I'm going to stick with the over.
Fuck you, Josh Richardson.
Yeah, I agree. All right, the Milwaukee Bucks 54.5. Obviously, they didn't make any big moves. No, they made shit tons of moves. They got Jay Crowder, who returned. They got Malik Beasley, who's I reckon is a pretty decent player, but
that's a very solid pickup from there.
They got Campaign. They've got Ty Washington as well. The thing that annoys me, they've re-signed.
He's been at a fair few teams.
Onto Tecumpo. I don't know why I say it differently to when I say his brother's name, but like he's just taking up a spot. Like I get that he's a locker room guy, but he's just taking up a spot. Like anyway, I saw them making that argument on the TV, and they got Lillard. Now, obviously, they lost Drew Holiday. They kept Chris Middleton. If I would have done it the other way around. I probably would have got rid of Middleton and kept Drew Holiday, if possible. That probably wouldn't have been possible. I don't know. First of all, what do you think of the deal?
They got Drew Timmy.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Timmy. But I don't know if I can support the Bucks. Oh, I don't know.
I'm always going to back the Bucks. I love Giannis.
I do like Giannis. I just don't like Lillard. What do you think of that deal, though? Them getting. Do you think? Would you have tried to get rid of Middleton, like I said, instead of Drew? Because personally, I think Drew Holiday's an absolute stud.
I mean, he got cooked by Jimmy, but then again, who didn't really?
Yeah.
I reckon that's fair. I mean, Drew's. I think one of the main weaknesses of Drew's game is his offense.
Yeah.
More his shooting. It is going to be a noticeable loss on the team. I think they will probably get. I reckon they're going to go over, but the losses are going to go down to where who Lillard's going to be on, and and their lack of defense there.
I was about to say their team was always being built around defense. I feel like they can probably make for it up for it at the rim because they got Lopez and Giannis. And I just think, have they still got Grayson Allen? No, he got traded, didn't he?
Yeah, he's at the Warriors. Oh no, he's at Phoenix. Sorry.
I think the over under is 54.5, and they had the best record last year at 58. So I'm gonna go over, but I think it'll be interesting to see if there's any growing pains between the two. Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next team. We're just going to fly through this one. So it's the Knicks. We don't need to stick on them for too long. They got 40. The over under is 45.5. Last year they had 47 wins, and they've added DiVincenzo on a 4-year deal, and obviously got Josh Hart back on a 4-year deal,
and Jacob Toppin.
And yes, they've got Obi's. Is it Obi's brother?
Yeah, and we brought back Ryan Arcidiacono and unfortunately Charlie Brown Jr.
Yeah, I don't think they mattered too much. I like the DiVincenzo move. Like, obviously, there's the whole where'd they go to school? Villanova. Yeah, the whole reunion. Gang. But he's another like Josh Hart type of player. Obviously, doesn't rebound as good as Josh Hart, but like that kind of.
But he can shoot the ball.
Yeah, he can shoot, and he does. He's a great role player. We'll probably talk about the Knicks further when we actually season starts or we're a week out and we go through the expectations. But what do you think of that line? 45.5. You had 47 last year, and you've only really made one decent change.
I think it depends on who takes the bigger leap this year, whether it's RJ or Randall. Whether Randall can become if he can have another All-Star season, and if RJ Barrett can have an All-Star season as well. Manuel Quickly as well, potentially 6-man of the year, maybe most improved in a contract year as well. So he's going to be trying to put up numbers.
Yeah,
but I've got him overs.
Yeah. I'm going to overs too. I think that I'm not going to doubt the Knicks. I think now that they've got a little bit more depth, I hope they get more rotations, and yeah, it's Tibbs. Hopefully he doesn't play his players for 45 minutes each week. But
well, I was worried about that when in preseason. But
yeah.
He played Jericho Sims 23 minutes. I was like, geez, what the hell?
All right. Orlando Magic, 37.5 wins. They had 34 last year. And the two moves they've made is Mac McClung agreed to a deal, the Dunk King, and Joe Ingles, Jingling Joe, 2-year deal at Orlando. I don't really want to. I'm not too keen to talk about Orlando because I don't have much to say about them.
We'll just put them both unders.
Yeah, I'm going under.
I think I'm hoping Anthony Black, as much as I don't like him because he chose to go to Arizona, no, Arkansas instead of Wait, did he go to Arizona? I have no clue. Yeah, he went to Arkansas instead of Oklahoma State. So fuck you. But yeah, hope he has a good year. I thought he was really good last year.
Yeah.
Even though I just forgot what college you went to.
I'm annoyed that this site doesn't show the draft picks because I just completely forget who.
I've just got them both up.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you then. Philly. So over under 48.5. Last year they had 54 wins. Obviously, there's the whole Harden situation. I don't think Harden's going to play for him this year. What they get back, I don't know. They got Pat Beverly, new to the team, with Mo Bamba, Danny Green, I think he just returns, and Kelly Oubre Jr., who I think is a pretty good player off the bench. But man, I don't know what they're gonna get for Harden. I think Maxi's gonna take a massive leap in his absence, but I can see, like, they've obviously got Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse likes to play their players a lot. And I can see Embiid getting injured, and I don't hope that upon anyone, but I can see it as a possibility. And I'm going to go under for that reason. Not because he's going to get injured, but like he's going to play on a lot of minutes. Harden's not going to be there. We don't know what they're going to get for Harden. I don't see it, like, if they get
I don't really see any team going for Harden at all.
Like the Clippers are the only team that wants him. And what are the Clippers going to give you? Norman Powell?
Exactly. And I can't remember who said it, but someone said about the Knicks not wanting a 1-year rental on James Harden.
Yeah.
For him just to leave. So
yeah, he forces his way out of everywhere. So it's like, it wouldn't be surprised if they have another Simmons situation there. And then you've really got to think to yourself, is it the players or is it Philly? Because they've both happened in Philly. So, I mean, yeah. Are you going under 48.5?
Yeah, I'll go under.
All right. We'll go through these last two teams quickly because I could care less about these two teams. The Raptors, 36.5. Last year, they snuck into the play. Oh, not snuck in. They got the 9th spot. 41 wins. I'm just trying to find. They've got they got Pirtle on a big deal. They got Schroeder and Jalen McDaniels and Garrett Temple. So no real big moves. They're just stuck in mediocrity until they make a move, I reckon.
No, they got Grady Dick.
Oh, they did get Grady Dick. Who's their coach? I've completely forgot.
That's a good question. I completely forgot. I knew they got a new coach. I just didn't know who it was. That's embarrassing.
Sports podcast, right? Am I right?
We're just coming back. We're a bit rusty. We're in our preseason.
So yeah, exactly. We're in our preseason. What do you think though? Over under 36.5. They're not expected to be great, but I feel like 36.5 is still a little bit too low for the Raptors.
Darko
Rajakovic. Yeah. Interesting. Never even heard about that.
Used to be an assistant at the Grizzlies, Phoenix, and Orlando, and Oklahoma.
I've never heard of him, but I'm going to go over 36.5.
I'm going to go under.
Now, we could disagree about this next one. The Wizards. It's the last one. It's the Wizards. Now, obviously, they've got... Jesus, who'd they get? Obviously, they got Jordan Poole and Kuzma re-signed. I think Jordan Poole's going to have a big year. But they also got Danilo Gallinari and Tyus Jones. I think Tyus Jones is a good player. I didn't even know he got traded. I completely forgot that. And they got the Muscala. But
the big moose.
The big moose. Their over-under is 23.5, and last year they had 35 wins. Obviously, they had Kristaps last year, who was absolutely balling. And Kuzma was balling. I think they've got two most improved candidates that we'll probably talk about in our future video. But I feel like 23.5 wins is very low for a team that's got Kuzma and Jordan Poole. Like, they're two good players to have as your young core. I think. You completely disagree?
I think Kuma's maybe in the middle of his prime.
Kuma.
I said Kuzma.
Oh, it sounded like Kuma on my end. We'll have to go to the tape
Kuzma's
for that.
probably in the middle of his prime. Poole's probably just about to enter into his prime. So whether what happens there, they also got Bilal Koulibaly, who, if many people don't know, that was Wembanyama's teammate in France.
Probably better than Wemby.
And he's not shit. So, I don't see him being anything special. But what was the unders? 37
or 23.5.
Yeah, I'll probably see him. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Don't say what you said last year and say, yeah, probably spot on. 23.5.
No, that was the year before. No, I mean, there's got to be a shit team in the East, and that's probably going to be them. Them and the Pistons.
You're going to go under?
Yep.
Ooh, interesting. All right, that does it for part 1. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
No. Before you